The Cardinals are hosting the San Francisco 49ers, another matchup here of NFC West foes. You want to talk about the Niners or the Cardinals here for this one?
I think if you're the 49ers, and really since George Kittle especially got back in week 7, their run game's been a lot better. They've been able to block things better up front. And what you have is the ability for them, because so often we talk about the 49ers getting off the edges with the outside zone game, just following Colton McKivitz and Trent Williams to the outside and getting out there. But between the tackles, they've been a lot better lately. Their rushing grade in the last 4 games between the tackles is 8 points higher than it was through week 6, and they're averaging 4.8 yards per carry the last 4 games between the tackles. Their first 6 games through week 6, that was 3.1 yards per carry. The Cardinals give up 5 yards per carry between the tackles this year. Outside of Calais Campbell, this defensive tackle group especially has not been good enough. Now maybe, Walter Nolan's been in for 2 games now. He's looked pretty solid. He can fix a bit of that. But if you want to attack this Cardinals defense, I think the best way to do it is to get right downhill at them at these defensive tackles and at these linebackers. Don't run right at Calais Campbell because he's still the best one. But despite there being a lot of these 5-man fronts, I think the Niners do have some opportunities to get downhill on this Cardinals team, and they've really diversified their run concepts too. A little more power, a little more duo downhill. It's not just the outside zone that we're always used to seeing from them. So I think if I'm the 49ers, I'm getting downhill. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be again this week, but the fact that they can take Christian McCaffrey and Brian Robinson and get between the tackles better than they were earlier in the year is a big help against this team.
Yeah, the Cardinals on their offensive side of things, no Kyler Murray in this game. Also now no Marvin Harrison Jr., who underwent surgery and he's missing at least this week, might miss next week as well. That's a major issue for me. Of course, you can run the offense through Trey McBride, but how explosive is it going to be? They're going to need a lot more out of the rest of the receivers and just the rest of that group in general to be able to step up. But Dalton, it's hard for me to have a lot of faith in the Arizona Cardinals right now with their offensive line. And it was an area that we were critical of this offseason that they did not address. And it's just coming to fruition that it's now starting to be a major Achilles heel of what this team is able to do. When you look at their interior offensive line specifically, because Paris Johnson Jr., I think, has been good this season. Jonah Williams has been up and down. He's been inconsistent at the other tackle spot, but that's sort of been his NFL career, so that's not a major surprise. 50.6 grade over the last 6 weeks. That's 30th in the NFL. So this interior offensive line, I mean, it's not good enough for them. And when you're down James Conner and Trey Benson, you're already down your playmakers. The offensive line has to play better, and they have not. They're one of the worst and least efficient offensive lines in the NFL. And so, to me, you're not playing well up front. You don't have the playmakers to be able to hand the ball off to in the backfield. And now you don't have Marvin Harrison Jr. For as good as and as high potential as I think this Cardinals defense is, it's hard for me to pick them in a game like this, even with them hosting against the 49ers. Give me the 49ers. I'll take them barely. I think this is a game that anybody could win, but I feel better about the 49ers here. 24-23 is the final score that I'm going with.
Yeah, this is a weird one, especially in Arizona with the game that each of these two teams is coming off of, defensively in particular. Everything about this logically tells me to take the 49ers, and honestly, I feel like more often, once in a while, I just need to do something completely against the grain. So I'm going to take the Cardinals to just find some way to pull it out 22-19.
Come on. I thought I was the only one doing that on this show. That's how I was able to catch up to you. You kept going with okay, yeah, this is exactly what's going to happen. And I was taking a chance on those, you know what? This team probably shouldn't win this week, but I think they are, and that's how I was able to catch you in the standings. You can't be taking my move from me. What are you doing?
I'm doing it. I don't know. Something tells me just Jacoby Brissett will just find some way that makes no sense to me at all going into this, and or like somebody like Amari DiMercato will have 130 yards rushing or some nonsense like that. It feels like this almost feels like the nonsense game of the week to me, where you're just going to go, oh, okay, that's exactly not what we thought we were getting.
I do think that the NFL is a lot crazier, a lot closer in competition than people want to admit. You could be terrible one week, you could be great the next, and that's just this league when you talk about the best in the world going up against each other every single week.